Well, one more piece to the puzzle. I wasn't too worried about that. These holes being, able to go through because I didn't have studs on the hub. Okay, so what I did was I just took a piece of scrap and I drilled with the 7/16 drill through here because I want to see, and that's pretty much perfect. That's what I want. So I think that by the time any tighter than that, I think I'm going to have an issue. So by the time I drill the 5 holes in here and they all register, like that one, I don't think I'm going to need the center rings. We'll find out. If I get the studs installed and stuff like that and the rotor still slops around more than I want it to, then yeah, I'll probably have to make some rings. So then that's the next piece. I've been dealing with the soft jaws, digging through, because I have a bunch of blanks, brand new blanks, but one I don't really want to invest the time in anyway. So this is for the G20, and it's a set that I don't use anymore. I was going to use my V ones, but they were set up for bigger rotors, so one jaw was on the back side and one was on the front. And what it meant was that all my machining was going to be right over the vise itself, and I don't want that. So if I drop that in and register it, that'll be good and tight. When I do the drilling and stuff like that, I think it's going to clearance itself just fine. I'll watch it real close on the first one. Oh, actually, I'll probably run it cutting through air, and we'll see how much contact there is where I need to clearance it when I do that. Some of you people following for the brake part may not care too much about the machining part, and some of you guys here for the machining part may not care too much for the car brake part. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to do it for me. So that's the biggest reason I'm recording these days. It has been a year and 8 months, year and 9 months. Yeah, a year and 9 months since I've made any chips with this, so I'm taking it quite slowly. I've already cut air, and my other rotor doesn't have this same clearance right here, and so rather than my other test rotor, all of the speeds and feeds are all still the same as cutting, very similar rotors, so should be okay. I've got the coolant tank cleaned out. I think I'm ready to go. We'll see here. Been so long, I don't remember how I did all this. So I've been fighting with the mist coolant and had to pull the nozzle off, readjust a little bit. It's trying. This one's putting out too much. So basically, I'm just going to leave this one going to help blow chips out of the way, and this one will provide enough liquid. So several times I've caught myself reaching all the way up to the top one, which is hard for me to reach. I put these in a while ago. It was a project I did, during my downtime or whatever. And I still got to pay attention and remind myself they're there. So the counter bore is there because part of the stud sticks up beyond the hub, okay? So that should be That should be enough. I sure hope so. I think basically what I need to do at this point, because I don't really want that to touch, I need to put some studs back in the hub and measure just how far out they stick, and then see if I actually have enough clearance. I probably should have done that before. There you can see the stick out. I need to measure that. I just went and checked, and I probably should have done that a little before. But I need that counter bore to be down more like 150 thou than 125. So I'm gonna go modify the code. I'll just rerun that one part of the code. That should that way I don't have to go through the whole thing again. Since I took the depth down a little bit more, I'm doing the counter bore again. That didn't change the diameter, so it won't change the chamfer, the top chamfer, but it should have cut away the other chamfer. And it was a little big to start with, so I went ahead and included that chamfer as well. Because this isn't completely accurate to here, I guess if I would have clocked it to one side or the other instead of trying to put it in the middle, I could put it back in, clock it to that edge, and be extremely close. Push come to shove, I just have to open the holes up a tiny bit, so we'll see. I'm just going to manually, with the drill press here, touch these a little bit to chamfer them, clean that edge up. I could do it by hand, but, you know, the drill press is handy, so... Okay, that should do it. And I know they're not set exactly in between here. I had a reason for that at one point. I don't remember what it is. I may need to go ahead and hit that with a little Scotch-Brite. And you'd be surprised, more often than not I find the factory ones have burrs on them too. I do feel a lip there from the on the factory ones. Not on mine. So the chamfer end mill did a good job. So I'm just gonna hit them all anyway. Let's go ahead and try it this way, and I just as soon not have to put it on the car with them together, but oh, you know, if I got to put it on the car that way, that's not a problem. How's that? I could clamp this, put a dial indicator on here, and do that wiggle, but a center ring in here is not going to get that any closer. Perfect. I like that. Okay. So for the first time or two, it may be a little bit more of a challenge. But that rotor is done. And once I blast the other hub, I'll put the studs in it. I want to go mow the yard because it's going to start raining for the next day or two. But I'm first going to go ahead and machine this one because I am here and everything's set up. Now, here's the thing. So the code is proven. There's a good chance I'm going to be using these exact same rotors for the rear. Rather than changing them, it would just make more sense. So I kind of wish I would have ordered set on the last Rock Auto order. Oh well. I'm all broke up. The rain started before I had a chance to mow the lawn. Darn. I went to get the studs to press into the other hub, and it dawned on me. I was like, oh man, I think there was a difference between front and rear. And there is. But it's noticeable enough. The rears would not have worked. Okay, so I would have known right away. They're a little bit longer. They're a little bit closer to the match here. So they take the same 7/16 holes and the part that rises up out of the hub or out of the axle flange is a lot less, and so I can just go ahead and cut them the same. I'll have 4 identical rotors then, and it won't matter. I'm gonna go press these in. I use the same tool and everything, that stand, and I just put them down and I press them in. You just got to watch that you don't get the ram for the piston on the press too far over, so you don't try to center the ram on the stud, okay? Because if I did, then I'd come down and I'd hit this side of the hub. So you off center it a little bit and press it down, and I press it down tight to make sure that it seals up flush.